Welcome to the slideshow. Can you guys hear me and see me and do all the fun stuff? Oh my gosh, what a colorful room. What is happening here? It's good to see everybody. Historic day. Wow. What happened? What's going on? What's going to happen next? Let's talk about it. I am your host, the hostess with the mostest, the prognosticator of prognosticators, Mr. Potato Head himself of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Facebook fame. It's me, moi, hola. How are you? Que tal? It's good to see everyone here today. I hope you're doing well. About 15, 16 years ago, my engineering friend and I had a nerd enclave, an enclave of nerds. And the two of us, it was the very smallest and saddest nerd enclave. As there were just two of us. We had this brilliant idea that we could trade. And like everyone else, we did the thing. And then the other things happened. And then we did the thing again, and then the other thing happened again. And it became increasingly clear that the rules we thought the game was played by were not, in fact, the rules. And we built something. We went back and looked at what other people had been doing, and came up with a new method that I believe by the end of this event you will find extremely compelling. And when I say that, I mean I've sort of taken away every possible element where I could manipulate or somehow distort the truth of what you're about to see. So there's zero opportunity for me to try to trick or fool you or con you or emotionally manipulate you into using our tool. The example I gave someone earlier this week was, if you remember that game where they move the cups with the ball in it, there's a rendition of cup and balls that the Las Vegas resident duo of Penn and Teller performs. And Penn and Teller do the cup and balls act with clear glasses and short sleeve shirts, or their sleeves completely rolled up. And you get to see exactly how every movement of the cup and the balls is done, the sleight of hand, the moving of the ball from the hand to the cup. You can see every last detail of the operation of the performance. And today you're going to see a rendition of that performance with trading signals. By the end of today, using predictive time, we believe time is the most important part. Timing is everything in market movement theory. I know a lot of you are committed to other stuff. You're seeing other people. It's okay to be polyamorous in this ecosystem. You can look at volume, you can look at ICT, you can look at divergence, you can look at RSI, knock yourself out with every kind of wackadoo moving average momentum oscillator thing that's out there. But if you don't pair that signal up with time, you're going to be off a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, or off completely. And I believe this explains why stops are run and moved and targets are missed every day. I think there are people out there who know what I'm about to show you. I believe these people, these institutions have a plan before the market ever opens, a plan to take money from your account and put it into theirs. Now, how can I prove that? The experiment is quite simple. If you've signed up on our website to participate in this, you had access to a page. And the page said, here are the times and directions for the markets for the next 2 days. And so the most popular market, the one that's always traded, is the E-mini S&P. And so for Thursday, in a moment, we're going to look at that chart. And I want to talk to you about what the information was conveying to us. What were the patterns? What were the plans? What were the plans that JP Morgan and Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank and Bank of America and Goldman Sachs, what did they all have in store? Now, your head is going to explode. You're going to be mad at me. You're going to think of 1,000 things to say. Well, how can all the banks be in cahoots with each other? There's only so much money supply. It's a zero-sum game. Just relax. Breathe. Goose fraba. Breathe. I'm less interested in the why. I'm less interested in the who. And I'm more interested in the what and the how. Because if we have the what and the how figured out, everything else kind of lines up. Let's begin. This chart that was on this page that was published 2 days ago, how do we know that? Because it says right here, and 8 of you were watching. This digital fingerprint was indelibly marked into the interwebs 3 days ago. And the program had identified times in advance. These are all Eastern times, by the way. Eastern time, we're on the East Coast. All our computers are set to New York time. Whatever your computer clock is set to will be the times your times appear as. And so all of the times that are on the top were signals that we were waiting for a historically repetitive selling pattern to occur. How many of you believe that banks manipulate markets? Quick show of hands. Give me a Y, a big old fat Y, if you think banks manipulate markets. Maybe not even banks, maybe people bigger than banks, right? If we can accuse an entire country of having a rigged election, is it outside of the realm of possibility that the E-mini S&P could be rigged or oil futures could be rigged? We now know that oil companies have colluded to manipulate prices. Fun fact, we'll come back to this chart for a second. Oil companies colluding. Let's see if there's any proof of that. The U.S. shale industry faces a barrage of lawsuits alleging some of the largest companies in the sector colluded to curb output and raise prices. After what? After similar claims were made by who? The U.S. antitrust regulators. ExxonMobil, Occidental Petroleum, Diamondback Energy, 10 class action lawsuits saying, hey, it wasn't inflation. It was a couple guys in a boardroom who said, how do we get away with murder when people are hurting the most? All of these times on the bottom of the chart Since when? Since Tuesday. We've known about them the way we might know about a map of landmines. You know what I love? I love these AI image generators. A man holding a map showing the location of the landmines in the field that stretches out in front of him. And AI can come back and take this image that I have in my mind, and it can build it and help you guys understand the way that I see, the way that I perceive time and these signals in advance. So imagine this guy knows where all of the landmines are buried in the field out in front of him. Does that make sense? Are you guys okay? I know we're all a little shell-shocked, but just imagine he's looking at the map and he can see where all the landmines are. You are here. And he knows now how to walk and get through. Fun fact, the Ukrainians figured out a way to know where all the Russian landmines were. How many of you heard this story? Do you know how they did it, Earl? They figured out they figured out the landmines heat up because they're made of metal. And when they're sitting in the sun all day and the sun goes down and it starts to cool off outside, they cool slower than the surrounding soil and dirt around them. And they fly the drones over the fields with a heat sensor, heat imagery, the same kind of heat sensors they use to find lost children in the woods or a dementia patient, somebody who's lost. The Ukrainians figured out, hey, we know how to get through the landmines now. All right, we're going to go through the tree, up here, make a left, and come into the woods that way. And they don't touch a single bomb that was buried to hurt them. It's cool, right? That's what this is. The program is saying, hey, you are subject to something called the recency effect. What is the recency effect, you say? The recency effect is a tendency to remember the most recently presented information best. In short, here's what we believe banks do. There are movements that are occurring at certain times lately. These times change all the time. They shift to the right, they shift to the left, they flip their polarity. And we're always reabsorbing new information to anticipate what the next ones will be. But once the software commits to a time, it doesn't change. It doesn't appear later or after the fact. It's carved in stone. And so the recency effect basically says everyone trading forgot the fact that 9:10 is an important time on the 5-minute ES chart. They forgot the fact that 11:10, 105, and 3:15 have been landmines. And you guys, okay, I'm out here today watching my Renko bar. Hoopy-doopy-do. Okay, price action, trend lines, woohoo! Look at that, the MACD is higher. And these people sit in a room and they're laughing. Has anyone figured out that 105 is coming yet? No, sir, they're all long. That's what I think really happens. And the only reason these times are on this chart is because it's happening over and over again. The only reason these times are here, it's not some proprietary black box Kentucky Fried Chicken Coca-Cola secret formula. The only times that are on the chart, selling and buying, are the ones that keep pushing up and down lately. Woo! Over and done. No guru involvement. What happened today? How does this work? Is there any valid extension of this at all? And what I want to show you, I'm going to show you what happened on the ES chart in 1 second. But I want to show you the confidence I have coming into this. Earlier today, I posted this chart. You see where it says 4 hours ago? This was when my SPY chart populated. This is an actual live chart from my screen, straight out of the heart of the computing beast at my feet right now. It's a monster. One day when you're cool like me, you'll have a computer like this. But I want you to see, it's a little after 11 o'clock. And Earl, off to the right are the landmines. We're looking right at them. We fly the drone overhead. Das Vidanya, they're looking and seeing all the drones, all the landmines. And we see what these times are coming up in the future. Now, if what I believe is real, if the game has a different set of rules that are based on time, the entire architecture of this industry collapses. Where do brokerages make most of their money from? Let's give 5 people to answer that question. Where do brokerages make most of their money from? Anybody? Commissions. Commissions. Every time you place a trade, straight out of the Wolf of Wall Street, right? Every time they place a trade, that's money in the account for the broker. How many trades are on this chart after 11 o'clock? From the open, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 trades. There's 7 trades. If you take more than 7 trades, the brokerages love it. You know how many most traders take intraday? The undisciplined ones, which make up the majority of the pool, dozens, 20, 30, 40, 50. Where do prop companies make most of their money from? Where do companies like Top Step Trader and Earn to Trade and UProfit and Apex make most of the money from? Failed challenges. Why do people fail challenges? All the same rules, right? So if the rules of the game are based in time, all of the players, including gurus have a wonderful marketing model. If I got bit by an evil spider tomorrow, like Spider-Man, just like, I hate everybody now, I could open a company. I could modify a free indicator that's been out in the universe for 1 million years. I can surround it with all sorts of glamorous imagery, fake reviews. I could plaster my personal spiritual testimonial on the page, show you pictures of the orphans that I've been helping for 300 years, and sell it for $10,000 in a way where you never truly understand how to use it. And as a guru, you need me. Sit at my feet. I will show you everything. Like Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. You know, you're like a bug to me. The trades are falling from the sky like stars, and the stars are all stop limit orders. Give me a sandwich. They keep it so mysterious that you put another quarter and another quarter and another quarter in the machine. I need the guru. And there are these 7 times. It's ridiculous. You know how crazy this is? Watch. Because I get to go back and say, here's what happened later. Here's what happened after 11:10. Why am I shouting? I don't know. This was the last signal that I posted. The next move was at 12:05. The next move was at 1:05. The next move was at 1:55. The next move was at 3:05 into 3:45. Now, Steve, I'm no genius. But if someone had asked me when I posted this, how many people do you think from the 30,000 SPY traders in that group, how many of those people will you think, Michael, will reach out to you and say, hey, what's going on here, bro? That's a little weird. The answer 4 hours later is 0. It is completely 0, 100% 0. And I never in a million years realized why that was happening until I met more and more traders, and now I understand. So E-mini S&P, let's come over and take a look at the chart, because the whole purpose of the webinar this afternoon, it's really a net, isn't it? This is a trial of sorts. I literally am prosecuted by a jury of my peers once a week, every week for 15 years. And you all gather together to say, is this guy jerking us around? Are you a fraud, Mr. Lydick? Is this company based on a sham, a fugazi? Well, I give out the times in advance, and we come together on Thursday to see, did it work or did it not work? So let's look at the chart. I want to come back and look at Tesla, by the way. Don't let me forget to look at that chart. So earlier today, on multiple forums, using the same times that you all had access to, I want you to see that I posted the times into other groups. This one is the E-mini S&P 500 futures group. And you'll see, Steve, they have 7,000 members. You know how many of them have reached out to me? 0. And earlier today, I said, hey, I'm in a trade. And here are the times for the rest of the afternoon. 1:05, 1:55, 5:15 coming up, the sell times. Clear as day. Sorry, I got one comment from Elijah, who's kind of cool. Elijah, if you hear this video, I love you. And so all of the times to the right of 11:10 were in the future. They were a computer algorithm warning us against ourselves, against the recency effect, against the self-destructive, self-defeating, self-sabotaging nature that is the human brain. And at 105, the market was in a range. And I said, hey, I'm above the moving average. I don't like this. And then this candle took out that low, that candle, that candle, that candle, that candle, that candle, that candle. All of these candles, all of the lows were taken out by this candle. And I said, we're moving with velocity down. I sold 3. I'd already sold the high. Their plan was afoot. And you'll notice right here is a stop run. They got the last few people right there. This guy, whoever bought right here, is telling his wife they can't go to Disney World this year. They're going to have to go. Good news, kids. We're not going to go to Disney World where it's hot. We're all going to wear virtual helmets. I got a bunch of Facebook Meta Quest 2s. I got them on sale for $150 each, and we're going to look at Disney rides together in the living room. Daddy, where did all the vacation money go? I went long at 53.41 quarter. That's where, Susie. So I saw it go short. I went short, and I put my thing at break even. Now, Drew, I puckered up a little bit because look how close it came to break even, twice. And I said, I have to now get through this buying sequence. And at one point, I was up a lot. And then I said, I thought I was going to go further. I said, let me hold on. And at 3:15, I said, the troops are coming. Here comes another wave of sellers. And then I decided I wasn't going to be a butthead anymore. And so I got out with 1 here, and then I got out with 2 more right here. $7,000 people in the group. Hey, when was it supposed to push up? Right? You guys remember? When was it supposed to push up? 1550? Can everyone see where the signal is? Can you see where I got out? I got out here. Where was 150? Here. Isn't this amazing? You would think, and here's the thing, other people have shown their friends this. Other people have shown family members this. And they always say the same thing. It's too good to be true. It's too good to be true. I want to ask you a question. What part of it could I have faked? What part of it could I have manipulated? What part of it involved my animal magnetism or my personality? What part of it was I able to get you to drop your defenses and worship my guru nature? You had the times since Tuesday. Some of you saw them in the forum 3-4 hours ago. The only possible way I could have made this work, I could have called Warren Buffett and said, hey, Warren, Michael, yeah, how's Bill? Good. Listen, I got a webinar today at 4 o'clock. Can you do me a favor? take some of that $150 billion of yours and drive the market down at 1110, 105, and 315. Oh, and while you're at it, Warren, can you push it up at 1205, 155, and 1550? Thanks, man. You're the best. I don't have the capital to push markets. All of us in this room couldn't make the markets do that. It would instantly absorb everything. So if I couldn't do it, if Warren didn't do it, if all of us couldn't do it, who did it? Who moved up at 955 and down at 1110? Who moved the markets at 1205 and 105? Who pushed them up at 155 and 350? Who did it? But Michael, there was unemployment today and housing starts and building permits and lions and tigers and bears. Yeah. How many of you have a headache right now from listening to me? SPY, E-mini S&P. Let's take a look at a long-term chart. This is a guy I love to hate. Let's try another AI photo. Ready? Here we go. Elon Musk smiling on the phone with a stock chart on his computer screen. Oh, I'm not allowed to use Elon's image. All right. On a daily chart, we have the same situation where we can see the signals off to the right-hand side. So I see a sell signal on May 24th. Well, why is that signal important? Because if you haven't figured out yet, the stock is going down. It's been going down for quite some time. There's an army of $10,000 to $20,000 cars from China. Can I say something real quick? I just want to get this off my chest. When he started, he wanted us to believe his messianic vision for the future. I want to save humanity. Well, how are you going to save humanity? If we all drive electric cars, that's the biggest source of carbon. We're going to have solar panels everywhere and drive electric cars, and that's going to save the planet. Great. And I don't even care about the money. I care about people. Well, sir, there are 50 freight ships filled with affordable electric cars from China. Like everyone in the country in every city can have one now. They're very affordable. You did it. You got everyone to do it. The batteries are cheap now. And there's another fleet of things behind them. There's just ships as far as you can see filled with solar panels. We can afford them. What do you want us to do? Bring them in. Let's go. I'll sell them. I'll stand at the dock and sell them to people. He didn't say that. He said, hey, Mr. Biden, yeah, I'm still kind of salty about that not inviting me to the electric car conference. But hey, listen, can you slap a 100% tax on those cars for me? Yeah, I got to go. I'm fighting for a $60 billion bonus. Who is this guy? What do we care what he says? He digs holes in the grounds and he has cars driving around 15 miles an hour. All right, rant over. The next selling pressure signal is at May 24th. Now, here's what's really interesting. If you look at the signals where the software was warning us buyers should be coming in, you'll see that these are very weak pushes. There's nobody here. There's nobody here. In fact, if you measure how high the moves went at all from the high of those candles, that's the maximum it moved on February 9th. And then over here, this is the maximum it moved over here. Okay? There was a split. This is sort of like a time Fibonacci retracement. There was a split right here where it actually went to there. So of the last 3 times that it went up at all, from the close of that candle, this is about as high as I expect it to go by May 24th. That's as much of an exertion as this stock has managed in months since Christmas. And so now I expect it to go at least this high and possibly this high by May 24th. And out the gate, it's not looking very strong, is it? In fact, this is about as high as we're expecting it to go by May 24th. 2 out of 3 moves. And so part of me is secretly hoping that the man who told all of the interns who had paid for their housing for the summer to work at Tesla, you have to go home, the internship program is canceled. I hope his price tanks. The man who fired someone who slept in his car in the parking lot for a year, took showers in the plant and ate all his meals there to be part of the team because he believed in Tesla, went to go in the door and his badge didn't work and they took it from him. You're gonna need your badge, sir. I'm watching May 24th and just practically salivating. But that's what you can do with these charts. And we're not limited to Tesla, right? We can look at other markets. We can apply this to commodities like oil. And we can see that oil at its very high had no more buyers left on the daily chart. And now we're May 7th and it's dropping, right? Those of you guys that are Omniacs, you'll recognize, Danny, what happened here. Do you see it? We can look at other markets like Microsoft. Do you think the price of Microsoft is moving randomly? I reference this all the time in my TikTok videos and Instagram posts. How long does Microsoft have to climb higher? Until May 24th. There's a problem though. There's a situation here. When they had time to go up last time, they didn't form a higher high, did they? No. And so now the closer we get to this trend line by May 24th, what an opportunity for low cost puts, right? Any other big time frame stocks or commodities or futures or currencies or cryptos you want to look at? Because it's all going to look the same. There's all going to be these moves that we knew about beforehand and put 2 and 2 together and said, oh, there's a plan here. And they didn't invite me to the party. Okay. Get rid of this. One of the most popular markets is the E-mini NASDAQ. Did the E-mini NASDAQ look random to you at all from these signals on my chart so far today? This is the wildest, most random market of all, right? What if there was a way to know in advance when those signals were going to populate a potential move? If only there was a way to know what times in the future this thing was going to move up and down. Ready? 11:10, 11:32, 11:58, 11:10, 11:32, 11:58. When were these times populated? 3 days ago. 3 googly moogly days ago. Hey, look, it's still happening. And I have the times coming up in the future. They're sitting there. There's a landmine coming. Yeah, but I think it's going to go up. No, it's a selling landmine. But I think it's going to go up. No, it's a selling landmine. These were the signals from this morning at all-time highs. So if there's a voice in your head right now that's saying, oh, it's too good to be true. If it's so good, how come he's selling it? I bet, why doesn't he have a Ferrari in his driveway? His wife should be a trophy wife with blonde hair and a tank top, and they should be in West Palm Beach in a house on the beach right now. Maybe I'm just a nerdy engineer who loves this stuff and loves building things that you crazy knuckleheads take out into the battlefield and bring all the money back. Because look, 3 days ago, I told the entire world, the software said 924, there's a selling landmine. 950, there's a buying landmine. 1002, 1015, 1036, 1047, 1110, 1120, 1132, and 1133. Easy, Earl. That's a VWAP, by the way. A lot of you watch that, so I put it on there. But if you take away the VWAP, right, that's just a 20-period exponential moving average. There are so many people who lost their evaluation accounts today in Apex. There are so many people, if you go on the site and you go on the Facebook page, that can't connect, that can't get over the finish line. And I'll be very honest with you about why I do what I do. I want you to pretend like this indicator, this tool, is a motorcycle. I recently started paying attention to Moto GP. And these guys, they take a machine that a bunch of nerds like me built. I'm a mechanical engineer. And this thing has a cylinder and fuel is coming in it and it's fuel injected and there's computers and gyroscopes and anti-lock brakes and lean sensors. And they hand it to this guy. And every once in a while, Thomas, they'll show you the crew. The guys back in the booth, the monkey wrenches, the wrench monkeys, the guy who changes the tires, the guy who adjusts the brakes and the shock absorbers and the dampening systems. None of those guys are on the bike. But if you talk to them, man, they love the sport. They give their life for it. That's what I am to you here. I love it when you tell me, hey man, I crushed it today. I love it when you come back and you write your reviews and you're like, I'm doing it. I was in that trade with you earlier today. I'm doing it. I passed my evaluation. I'm getting my payouts. I'm doing it. That's my motivation. I love it. I wake up every day and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I hope I'm encouraging all of you enough, and I've inspired enough of you and shown you all enough things to help get you moving in the right direction. But guys, this is the reality of the universe that we live in. This is what's happening right now. If we look at a daily chart of the E-mini S&P, and that's, again, just the one that everybody watches, there's a special setting that I apply to it. Got a little schmaltzy there. These are my default values for the E-mini S&P. If you're a customer at home, I want you to see what the default signals are. This is 714 calendar swing strength 8, right? But that's not the setting that I used to track it. I think there was a more accurate setting that I teach. I very rarely go off of standard or default, but when I do, I share those values with you. And we've been waiting for the up move since May 24th. It was supposed to go up until May 14th. Now, if you're me, with what I've taught you here today, especially with that 5-minute example, what do you think banks just did today? Steve, what do you think they accomplished today? Anyone want to take a guess at it? Oh, I'm gonna blow up what Steve said so you can see. Stop run. Where do you think they're gonna go? They got to balance this candle out now, Danny, right? There's no balance there. Look at what the signals have been doing so far. Are they reliable? Are they a reliable witness to the manipulation of banks? Are they a reliable witness to the impact that time has on the large movements of the market? Yeah, it hasn't hit its stop line yet. Only one signal in this entire stream has hit its stop line, and Earl, it just nicked it right there. And here we are again. I don't know if it's going to go up or down. I do know, though, if these guys are truly the wizard behind the curtain. Let's try that one. Let's try that picture. Bankers in suits are behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz, laughing and smoking cigars with money falling out of their pockets. Let's see what that looks like, because that appears to be what's happening on this chart right now. The same thing that happened with Microsoft. We had this move on March 22nd. It didn't go very high. Yeah, there they are. There they are. So the best part of this is we already have the times for tomorrow. We already have the times for tomorrow. They're waiting for us. Let's go back and apply the default values. And this will be the last thing that I say. If you're watching from home, you'll immediately begin to notice that the times are waiting for us for tomorrow right now. We have the times right now for tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of next week. They're carved in stone. They are locked in. They're indelibly known. They do not repaint, disappear, reappear. They are as permanent as the times were for today. The landmines are known. Their location has been documented. There is an awareness, an exact awareness. And the sad reality of it all, despite the testimonials, despite the shenanigan-free proof, the game of ball and cup with clear glass, despite all of that, right? Despite what I did with you here today, you saw every step of the way. You knew where the ball was all the time. Carl, will it work on tick charts? Sure. But brother, you're asking the wrong question. You're asking me to put a turbo in your Ford Fiat. Do you understand how that sounds when I hear it? If you knew the market was going down at 315, could you see that on a tick chart, Carl? If you knew the market was going up at 1205, would you have seen it on your tick chart? Your 500, 600? What do you mean no? Come on, Carl. Don't be silly. If you were watching for a down move at 105 and you had a 150 tick chart on your screen and it formed a block, it formed a trend line, and the trend line broke at 106, you wouldn't have seen it and known what to do until 155? Stop it. Yeah, you would have seen it. You can't have a time-based chart here and put a tick chart up. Dave's all nervous now because I'm getting aggressive with Carl. But yes, here's the cool thing. Carl, I can come here. I beat you up a little bit because I'm all riled up and I had an energy drink before. ESGUN. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. If we load a tick chart on the ES, let's look at a 150 tick chart. Carl's like, Jesus, the grapes on this guy. So we have a 150 tick chart here. Let's actually use a bigger one just for the sake of it. 500. And now, Carl, I'm going to load 10 days of historical data. Yeah, no, bro, I was just down at Barbecue Joe's in High Point, and we drive past Lexington to get there, and I order a set of the ribs, and it's very hard for me to stay sane driving down your way. We were at Lexington in Lenore's hardware store a couple weeks ago. I needed some stuff, and I walked down the aisle, and I saw they had a giant selection of Yeti coolers and buckets and cups, and I almost bought one. They almost got me. But if you were using this on tick charts, we come over here. I'm just going to change this real quick. I want you to see You see how I can apply the times on a tick chart, Carl? They have everything you can want, and if they don't have it, you don't need it. That's right. So yeah, man, it works on tick charts. And you see how the times are still coming up in the future? Yeah, no. And I get salty. I know it. I get a little arrogant, but you got to remember one thing. I want you guys to please give me a little bit of rope here. For 15 years, I come on stage. Here's James Taylor singing his #1 hit, Fire and Rain. Now, James has some new songs. He comes around with one every once in a while. He meets a pretty lady. He wants to talk about his dog. He loves his truck. And everyone is screaming, Fire and Rain! And I think the 50,000th time he sings it, Carl, he's kind of over it. And so when you ask me that question on my 650th webinar, more or less, and 0 people are reaching out to me, 0 people are asking, how does this work? And tomorrow they're all going to blow out their accounts again. They're all going to hit their stop loss limits again. They're all going to pay brokerages too many commissions again. It grinds on me. I'm like, was that Richard Neville in the movie I Am Legend? I am here, I can help you. I have food, I have shelter, I can protect you. And he lives for years by himself, and then that one person comes along. Carl, I hope you're that one person today that I can help, that I can save. And get your name on this wall. I would love to get your review on this wall. I hope you're next. Guys, thank you for your time here today. The program we're talking about is called TachEon Warp. I like you very much. It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a snappy feeling. We're growing inside. TachEon Warp, it's been around for years. We have thousands of customers all over the world. And the tool we've built for you, it's pretty incredible. 12,000 lines of code, a completely new way to look at the market. Everyone else has climbed the wall before you got there. You're not the first guy over the wall. It's debugged. It's completely stable and in use in every market you could think of. And so I appreciate all of you. Thank you, Graham. I'm trying to get better. When you go to sign up, there is a link that's going to pop up for a room. And listen to me, all of you who are not in my room right now, we're killing it in there. I'm the best I've ever been at teaching this in a live market environment. If you are here today trying to glean little pieces of wisdom from this sales webinar, picking out little nuggets, register for the advanced trading room. 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock every morning session. We're using all of my big brain. I'm teaching all of the cutting edge, bleeding edge things. No holds barred. And people are really growing and learning and doing well. If you're coming here on Thursday and you're not in my room, or you're not registered and looking at the recordings because you live in Botswana or Thailand or wherever you are, shame on you. Get in there. No room tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. Friday is my sanity day, where I go in my greenhouse and I prune tomato plants in my hydroponic system, and I talk to potatoes that aren't born yet, and I pick up eggs from the chicken coop, and I become a human being again. We'll start back up on Tuesday. But when you sign up, Carl, there's a room where I teach this stuff live. I show entries and exits. We have a $200 daily goal per contract, and it would be a great idea for all of you to be in there. Please come in, let me teach you what I know, show you the signals in real time. There's no hope for my sanity. That is correct. I have a hydroponic greenhouse that I copied from a farmer in Virginia. He taught everybody how he did what he's doing. And if I can find photos of it, here we go. Daniel, these are the tomato plants in question. They're in buckets of perlite, and they get flooded with a nutrient solution that comes from a big tank outside. I also grow lettuce. This is all low-tech PVC piping. And I'm also trying to grow non-parthogenic, it's one of those cucumbers. They self-pollinate, so you don't need bees. No cannabis, no. I don't need any mood-enhancing alternatives. I got strawberries, basil, lettuce, all sorts of stuff in there. So that's what I'll be doing tomorrow morning. But please, Swiss chard is doing well outside, Earl, and blueberries, raspberries, apples, pears. It's going to be a good year. My potatoes question was asked. We're a little off topic here, but stand by. The potatoes, these are some of the things. There they are. So Thomas, what will happen is these start to get flowers on them. And when the potatoes begin to flower out, all of the production is going into the tuber when the flowers are appearing. And then what happens is the plants begin to die back and get yellow. The leaves become yellow and brown, and all of that energy is returning to the tuber. And so you'll look out. If I remember in another webinar, I'll bring a picture up. It should be in a couple weeks. All of these leaves will will turn brown and go back. And I have these little pouches on these fabric pots. You can pull them open, reach in, and take the potatoes out from there. I think I did better this year. Last year, I didn't water them enough. And this year, I had a sprinkler going every day to make sure that the moisture was getting in there. So yeah, no, ask any questions you want about that stuff. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending. I hope there was something valuable in here for you. I believe in you. I'm on your side. I know what this takes. I've seen thousands of people do it. I know what it costs. I know what your spouse and your friends and your family members are saying to you and about you. You picked a lonely thing. You picked the hardest of things. It's not just the worst people in the world you're trading against, it's yourself. Millions of years of evolutionary self-sabotage. Your brain is designed to protect you from painful things, and every morning you wake up and say, let's do something that hurts the most. And yet you're here. I'm proud of you. Congratulations. You're moving forward. 99% of life is moving forward and doing something. Planting a tomato in a pot. Putting a tree from Home Depot in the ground. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to try. I see a whole orchard in my mind. What is it? Blessed are the men who plant trees in whose shade they will never sit. I believe everyone here is going to sit in the shade of the trees that they've planted. The money is there. It's available. It's out there. The landmines, not all of them, but a lot of them are known about. with a little bit of risk management, a little bit of time to learn it. I know you can do this. I believe in you. May the wind be at your back. May the sun shine upon your faces. May the valley rise up to meet you. May the mountain lay low before you as you go on your way. I wish you peace, prosperity, joy, happiness, health, fellowship, all the things you want for yourself. I agree with you today in all of them in equal measure and abundance. Keep going. Don't stop. Keep pushing. The tools are there. The teams are there. The community is here. The teachers are here. Everything you need. We just got one stupid transaction in between all of the stuff and all of the future stuff. I leave that part to you. Have a great night, everyone. If you need me, please reach out. And if you get a phone call or an email from a guy named David or Drew, they are with us. They are not some scammer in Kazakhstan or Guangzhou or Nigeria. Drew and David are part of the team here. So if you get a call or an email from them, please respond. They're part of our onboarding team, and they're very valuable assets to help you figure out a way to get this in your hands. So thank you to them and thank you to you. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.